governs basketball for schoolboy and schoolgirl basketball in Maine. In 1955, it was then known as the State Principals Association, SPA, and there were really only 3 people involved, and I believe one of them was the Commissioner of Education. And issues would come up. First of all, the MPA sponsors the tournament. The MPA sponsors all the other athletic and art events, music events in our public schools. Basketball is the money producer. That shouldn't be taken the way we usually think of money. The fact is, they charge for the events, it costs money to sponsor them, and basketball is the cash cow. Basketball in Maine, its history has been high interest to the public. Communities get really involved, and up until maybe 1985-ish, even the bigger cities in our state were as involved as Easton is, and East Corinth is, and Deer Isle is, and so forth. For whatever reason, that has diminished, but it's still the major producer of attention. Newspapers, radio stations, often multiple radio stations, especially in years past, covered one game. It would be uncommon sometimes to see 4 or 5 in regular season game, 4 or 5 radio stations in one gymnasium, almost always 2. So it has high visibility. And like today with the computer and cell phone things, along about the 50s when the jump shot came about and all of those kind of things, the attention picked up a great deal. The media, even though most of it was just printed, was a little easier, the access, the spreading of the news, the information. So some issues would come up with all this attention. And finally, some principals, and especially those 3 key ones, decided we need to pay more attention to the basketball, and we don't have time under this current alignment to do that. So they came up with the Maine Basketball Commission concept. Backing up, the MPA has always had a basketball committee, and that MPA basketball committee, and that has expanded to a greater number. And so this basketball commission put a commissioner in place. And the role of the commissioner then was the state rules interpreter and the responder, supported by the SBA and now the MPA, the person who got a picture from Fort Kent to Kittery of what our high school basketball was like and answered the media people, the schools, and so forth. So that concept coordinates all of that. They put the commissioner in place. There have been, I think it's 58 years old, and there have been 4 commissioners. Mr. Charlie Watton was the first commissioner, and he served 21 years. He was replaced by an Eastern Maine board member that people had a lot of respect for, officiated college basketball throughout New England, and coached some people here in this room, at least a person or 2 anyway. Del Mero became the commissioner, and he served 2 basketball years, a little yet less than 2 physical years, because he was named president of Husson College. The next one was Michael Lorenzo, who was a University of Maine graduate, coached at Rockland High School and maybe some other places, and became a longtime guidance director at Edward Little. And then the next one you're listening to right now. So there have been 4 commissioners. Their primary purpose is to coordinate the communication with the Superintendent's Association, the Principals Association, the Athletic Administrators Association, the Coaches Association, the basketball boards of Maine, to see that there is a clinic like today for coaches and officials throughout the state to plan and to the great extent carry it out in Maine. Another primary purpose is to observe regular season games in Maine, to serve as just as the initial one, as the state's rules interpreter, to oversee and coordinate the selection of tournament staff, which has 3 or 4 elements involved in that. And then once the staff is selected, to lead the assignment and supervision of MPA tournament games. Then to report to the Basketball Commission, to report to the Maine Principal Association's Basketball Committee, and to the 5 boards and anyone else who calls upon that person. During the season, to attend to any special issues that might come up, whether it's an equipment issue. Nowadays, there's a lot more of that. We have one right now, for instance, with glasses, that the opponent can't see the player's eyes. And obviously, that's just an example, if the player needs these physically, then nothing would be in the way, including the darkness, because everything is done to have the player play. However, if that is not physically proven that he needs the darkness, maybe just the other safety parts of it would suffice, then of course, but to deal with things like that, sometimes it can be done through the internet, other times it can be done with a personal visit. So the makeup of the Maine Basketball Commission is school superintendents, 2 superintendents, 3 principals, 1 athletic administrator, 2 coach association representatives, and actually they're not coach association reps technically, they're coaches from the schools who coach high school basketball, and 2 of those people are part of it, and 4 basketball officials. Actually, there's 5 bodies, but it started out with 4, and the commission didn't want to expand it to 5, because obviously there's 4 votes there by officials already. So there 40-some years ago, 42 or 3 years ago, the Down East Board separated from Eastern Maine, and now there's 4 bodies there, but they only have 4 votes. So that's the makeup of the Basketball Commission. They meet twice a year, spring and fall, and any other time that might be necessary. There is a Maine Principals Association's Basketball Committee. That committee manages the tournament for the MPA, headed by the MPA office. They are members of the Principals Association. They could be a middle school person, a secondary school person, principal or athletic administrator. And I think the number is, I think it's 21 people now, but there's a Western Basketball Committee, the MPA Basketball Committee, there's an Eastern MPA Basketball Committee, and they meet jointly and make joint decisions twice a year in the fall and the spring. They have nothing to do with the coaching, the officiating, the game of basketball. They're there to coordinate and take care of any heel point issues and the final seeding of teams in any issues that might come up at the tournament sites that would be management decisions. So that's a picture of our Maine basketball history going back to 1955, and that's almost 60 years ago. Another, I've got 2 or 3 more minutes.